podcast.
We could be heroes just for one day. What episode are we on now? This coffee better wake me up. Stupidly got up at 6 a.m. to watch the F1. That's why I'm shattered.
I'll watch it this afternoon on Davy's Dance.
I know you usually like a lot of sugar, but that's the last of the sugar. I can't find any more. Save my life. Oh no! Have you put any in?
Yeah, there's already stuff sugar in.
We won't put that in.
Very strong. It's very strong coffee that day. Wow, I'm awake for the next 16 hours.
I used to drink lesser than that, so instead of having two, you just have one.
Yeah, right, let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 44, Popcornography podcast. And you're joined by myself, Rick.
Me, John.
Dino
And,
is here.
Where?
Here.
No.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Me, Simon. Good afternoon.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
It's a late start, this one, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
depends where
Yeah,
you're
it is a
listening. Depends where you're listening.
I think
Well,
you need to
not
drink.
for us, recording.
It's evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm
I think
getting
you need
warm
to drink
already.
more of that coffee.
I know,
Please
yeah.
do.
I think we all do,
I
right?
do.
I'm shattered, man.
I'm very tired.
It's the sea air. Hey, how was Disney on Ice, John?
I didn't go.
You didn't go?
No. I've had vertigo since Friday, and I didn't want to chance it in the car. So
Very
I
sensible.
didn't go.
Vertigo?
Yeah.
When did you have that?
Remember when I used to live in Melville Street? I had it then. I was off for 2 weeks with it.
Really?
Yeah. Literally, if I put my head up to a certain angle, the room just spins. I know what it's like to be you for a split second.
Mine's self-inflicted though, isn't it?
So
gonna have to say
kindly, Simon's brought us round tonight.
Oh, cheers for that sigh.
Well, I thought, if he pulls out...
Finally
and
had an
then
episode
John
without him.
Dean, we're actually using Dean's accommodation today, which
We
is
are,
thank you very
yes.
much, Dean.
Dude, Dean's dining room. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely area.
Isn't it
Yeah.
cosy?
It's
I'm
pic-
using the last
yeah.
of our sugar as well.
We've painted you a picture in this room that is surrounded by very expensive items, which you can now see on my eBay account for £10 per item.
There will be full body checks on the way out of this house tonight.
He's literally going to go around with a scanner knife. Yeah.
Security passport control check out the door.
So, how was everybody's weekend?
Tiring.
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 What did I do? What did I do yesterday?
You watched the F1, didn't
I
you?
don't know.
No, that was it. That was
Oh, was it
today.
this morning, was
That's
it?
why I'm tired.
She got up at 6.
What a stupid
The
idea
Japanese
that was.
Grand Prix.
Ugh, nothing much happened. The championship's over now, isn't it?
I was hoping for a really good fight, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Have we confirmed a new champion then, or what?
Not yet, but
No.
it's just a matter of time now.
Hamilton's got it, I think. Unless he breaks down, like... Even if he breaks down in 2 races of the 4 left, he's still winning. So, he's pretty much got it, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did I do yesterday? My mind has gone completely blank.
Sorry. Well, I was partying.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we
you
were
were
some
coke.
family do.
Yeah,
weren't we?
partying with coke.
I was. A family do. Yeah, well, I was driving, you know. Got a bit of coke in me.
Whoa, that is a party.
Yeah, partying itself. At 2 o'clock, I think we got in last night.
It depends on the coke you're having.
But yeah.
You been up to much, Dean?
Not really. Just I was out yesterday in Durham just because it was a work leave and do.
Oh,
So
nice.
just out from 3 o'clock onwards drinking. And
Did you
now
go out
I'm
last
tired.
night?
I was home by 11:30 in bed.
Yeah, I know. I got in and I was and ahhing, but I'm on a new journey in life, John. I'm not going to drink much anymore. I'm going to proper calm down. I'll have maybe a one night a week, one night a month. Like,
Can I call bull?
but it's-
I know.
well, but I mean, it's Christmas is kind of coming up, so
That's so easy to say, but you just got to
No,
set
I am.
yourself for those big events.
yeah.
Not go out every single week.
You said that 2 weeks ago and you've been out both
weeks.
weekends.
Well, fuck that. That's
No, I
never
genuinely
gonna
are. I'm going to save some money. and I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna get healthier, and I'm gonna.
Do you know the last time he stayed in?
He
Stayed in one night over the weekend, and he moaned about
Oh,
it.
he did. Yeah. Oh,
It killed him. It killed him.
That was a boring weekend. That though.
Did
I stayed in last
state?
night, and I was all right. I watched The Bone Collector, Denzel Washington.
Brilliant film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was spot on. So there you go.
Really
I wouldn't have had that lovely experience if I'd gone out.
So
I'd have been hungover today. I wouldn't have got up at 6 in the morning to watch F1, that's for
I
certain.
was hungover and I got up at 6. It's not nice.
Wow.
Did you actually get up at 6?
To watch it.
I woke Amy up early this morning, right, and I'm sure to death she got up absolutely mortal still because she got up, and I was like, "You're
Because she
drunk."
got up.
You're drunk. She was
She
like,
just skipped
"No."
out of bed. Woo!
Literally, we've spent all day around the
Let's do the washing.
coming home tonight. She was like, "Sam, you need to pull over." I said, "Why?" She said, "I don't feel so good." And literally, sober, hit.
Yeah.
At 5:20
That
tonight.
was me on the way back from holiday. When I first woke up, I was bouncing. I was so happy. And then after about an hour, it just hit me like a wall. It was horrible.
It does, doesn't it? You just know that sense from coming from the drunk stage to the sober stage is like a borderline, and you know when you've hit that borderline, you feel like crying. You feel like your life's over. You're on suicide watch, to be honest.
Yep. We've got a packed show. We have got the news, which we'll get into in 2 seconds. We've got the review for Blade Runner 2049. Myself and Dean went to see it.
Yeah, I heard you after credits.
We've got our crew review.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
The winning film was
Dun.
Durnham.
Say Jaws 2.
Oh.
Oh.
So yeah, Jaws won that one. So we're going to be reviewing that, and we will be then deciding what next podcast's review.
I'm not going to bother. I don't friggin' win.
It's 2-2, Dean.
2-2.
John on 0, Simon on 0.
Well, I think
But it all could
I think I
change
pulled
this
it
week.
out the bag.
Oh, have you?
Oh,
Good
yeah,
choice.
Yeah, like Crystal
pinch
Skull.
mine.
Like Crystal Skull last time.
Oh yeah, because that was always going to win.
I
That's
did pull that one out the bag.
You're an idiot.
Well, where did you pull it from then?
IMDb.
Should we get going?
Go on then. Why not?
News. Not an awful lot of news this week. The main one being the Justice League trailer. The final one got released. Have you all seen it?
It
Yes.
Yes.
Bomb.
Yes.
Are you excited from it?
Yep.
I am from this one. All the other trailers have like sort of been revealed trailers to the characters, which I thought a bit, yeah, okay, fair enough. This person's in it, Aquaman's in it, blah blah. Then they've brought this trailer out, and it's obviously the final one, and it looks mint.
See, I think all the trailers, including that one, looked the bizarre.
It didn't pull me in though. I wasn't really that
right.
bothered. I wasn't really going, yes, just come on, let's bring it on. Until this trailer come out. Well, when I watched it today, I literally just went, oh my god, I cannot wait for this film.
I love the soundtrack they chose for it.
Yeah.
We could be
That was
heroes.
good. Yeah. They try to sell it on action, aren't they? They try the final trailer. They try to show a lot of action, and I thought a little naughty at the start. It started to show Superman.
Yeah.
You thought, and then when it's true, they call are they going to reveal too much? But then you see nothing about Superman.
Like Batman
which
v
is-
Superman,
yeah.
where they just showed the entire film.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll learn from that. I mean, that was a lot of backlash from that. But I'm still not sold. I'm not sold on it. Right, one thing that's annoying me is they're building up this whole Superman is dead thing, whereas everybody knows he's coming back.
No.
Of course he is.
How do you know?
Well, he's been on set filming
With the black suit.
They've already announced they're like working on a Man of Steel 2. There's no way he's dead.
Yeah,
he's
but
not
you're-
dead.
Yeah, I know, but you're looking at it from a critic point of view.
No, I'm looking at it as a stop trying to build up this whole. It was the end of Batman v Superman as well, trying to say trying to bring some emotion out of the viewer for his death.
It did.
But
I wept.
really,
Yeah,
he's not dead.
Well, I guessed that by the end, but
It's just
Is he dead? Is he dead in the way that he's going to come back completely different character? Because he does wear his black suit when he comes back. So is he going to be a different
lost
kind
his
of
hope or
Superman?
something, isn't it? Or something like that, maybe. I don't know. I just think.
does that mean we'll see red kryptonite?
Right, are you sold on it, Dean?
Because
I would say we're quite similar in films.
I'm completely sold on it, Rick.
Oh yeah, oh, well, that shut me down. No, you see, I want to see it, but
I think it's going to be quite good. I think because after Batman versus Superman, I think they're going to concentrate on a lot of action. But
do you not think doesn't it look like a CGI fest again? And that's what I don't like. That's what ruined Wonder Woman at the end. I thought that end sequence was all just CGI, it's too much. And then Batman v Superman at the end of that, too much.
It could be.
No, I thought Wonder Woman was spot on.
No, Wonder Woman was a brilliant film. I just didn't
CGI
really
was.
like all the way through until the end with that battle with the horn guy, whatever his name was.
It is going to feel like a computer game. A lot of the scenes. There's going to be a lot of CGI in it.
And even in the trailer, you can see that the CGI.
Thing is, though, you can see a lot of films going that way anyway. Is it? I don't think it's cheaper to go that route, though, is it?
What CGI?
Yeah.
No.
So
Absolutely
I
not.
don't.
I prefer. Well, it is practical effect. We'll get onto that in the Jaws review, but practical effects versus CGI effects. It's now cheaper to just do CGI rather than build all the props and all the mechanics and all that, trying to do it.
See, I would have thought.
It used to be.
I thought it would have been.
It used to be, but not anymore.
Expensive to flick.
It's still expensive, but cheaper than doing Jaws, for example, with all their motors underneath the water and things like that. That would have been expensive. Nowadays, look at 47 metres down or the Shallows. It's all just CGI sharks. They don't bother using robotics and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Animatronics, yeah.
Thing is, that doesn't spoil it for me. If it's done right and it looks right, and I'm happy. I do see where you come from. Some arms, I feel there can be a bit elasticated, if that makes sense.
Animation looks, you know, even in that trailer where you see Aquaman drop, and like the animation looks a bit off.
And I think we touched on that in King Arthur, the latest one.
Yeah,
that was very elasticated, but I don't know if that was because of director.
Who of what? Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie, that's it. I don't know if that was his filming style for it, and it just blended in. But I couldn't. If that,
you felt it jarring, did you?
A little bit. I just felt sometimes when it went to the CGI world, where he was fighting that big bad thing, it just felt like they were a bit rubbery.
Same for Kingsman. At the beginning sequence, there was a lot of bits where it looked like weightless. It looked like it didn't feel right, and a few people have criticised it for that. When you see it fail, it pulls me anyway right out the experience, and it like reminds you you're watching a film. And I'd rather it just not be there. I'd rather them not have done that scene.
Yeah.
Well, talking about CGI heavy films, the other news was the Pacific Rim 2 trailer. Now, I'm not going to ask you to repeat that. When I watched the first one, I wasn't expecting anything, and I was blown away by it. I thought it was incredible, and the CGI in that is how it should be done. I didn't. There was not one bit I faltered.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be shit. I thought it was going to be some Power Rangers.
I did
kind of film, but then when I watched it, it was a guilty pleasure. I quite enjoyed it.
I was
what did the critics think of that? I never read it.
Yeah, it did all right. It did all right.
I remember not so many podcasts ago, we were talking about how it got shelved, and you said indefinitely. And we were like, oh, well, I was like, oh no, I'm quite looking forward to that. And now, all of a sudden, it's getting made, it's coming.
With someone else on a smaller budget, but it looks pretty good.
The second one, well, I said the second trailer looks a lot better than the entire first movie.
I love the. Did you not like the first one?
The movie was alright.
Mate, like, you're a massive Transformers fan, and so it surprised me you didn't like that.
It's not. I didn't like it, but I prefer Transformers over that.
No,
wow,
it's
and
better.
Massively.
No, Pacific Rim was better than Transformers. Maybe not the first one. The first Transformers does have a special place in my heart, but the rest have been pretty dismal. And like this genuinely, I was so impressed with it. So I am excited for this.
Pacific Rim, although it's Japanese monsters from a parallel universe or wherever they've come from, you know, I felt more attached to this story and the characters in it than some of the other films that are meant to be like that way.
It did take more time to establish the characters and stuff.
I thought it was too far-fetched, in all honesty.
Far-fetched? Transformers isn't.
No.
Come on. What happened?
You've got robots against monsters.
You've got transforming, talking alien robots. Come on. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, this Transformers was taken from. I mean, how long a period has that been going, like the cartoon?
Yeah, that doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't matter.
Pacific Rim's a comic that's been going for a very long time.
It's an iconic brand. It's an iconic name. It's an iconic series.
That doesn't give it any it doesn't make it more believable.
Well, of course, it went on for 8. I mean, it was done because people wanted it to be done.
Think of the idea, the concept between Transformers and the concept of Pacific Rim.
Right, got it.
Pacific Rim, they're man-made robots to fight these aliens that like these things that are coming out of a vault, like some kind of space tunnel, aren't they? Me explaining this is not helping my case. Coming from under the water, right? So
aliens, in other words.
Aliens v human technology to fight it. That's what you've got. Transformers is apparently, didn't we create the Transformers so many moons ago? They come, but they're then the dinosaurs. But that's before man existed. So how did we create the Transformers?
He hasn't watched the last film, has he? Because that explains a lot.
I don't think it does it? You said it was just...
Have you seen it?
No, I will. Because we're not getting onto that. You're not saying that you like that film because it is shit. And everyone will turn this podcast off if you say you like Transformers. Especially the last one. The last night. If you say you like that, people are going to stop listening.
Wrongly slated.
No, I very much doubt that. Dean, did it get wrongly slated?
I've given my opinion on it. I just felt like it was just a lot of action scenes and trailers just all packed together.
No one cares about your thoughts. Simon, did it get wrongly slated?
Oh, Simon, 8.5 on all of his films.
You agreed with me, didn't you?
It was a solid 8.
Oh, yes.
No.
This is why me and Dean do the proper reviews.
I even said in the lad chat, in the podcast chat, about how it got wrongly slated. And this man who knows his films, who watches them day in and day out.
Every podcast Transformers comes up.
I agree with John. Because the man knows that I'm talking sense. Right, crack on.
Have you read my written review for Blade Runner? You're mentioned in that, John.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll get on to that. This is our main discussion point. We're keep touching on it, and that's why I think it'd be quite interesting.
It annoys me that the main guy, Mark, as well, is the highest paid actor.
Mark Wahlberg?
I mentioned it a few weeks ago as the highest paid actor this year for doing that film.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's made more money than any other actor. Yeah. He makes a lot of money off royalties and toys and all sorts.
It's laughing at Hollywood. Like, some production studios make incredibly detailed stories with, like, backstories and just brilliant movies, and then you've got him turning up. He's not even acting with anything, is he? He's just acting with sticks and...
Hey, that takes a lot. That takes a lot.
Does he act very well in it, though?
You've got to show emotion.
Right, you know what?
Charisma to the stick with eyes.
If I can squeeze it in, I will watch The Last Night and we will talk about it.
Don't squeeze it in, do it.
Well, I'll squeeze it in.
Here we go. I'm busy.
You'll be watching the film that my crew review that wins next week.
Well, crack on.
So, out of that, which trailer do you prefer the most then? Pacific Rim or...
Oh, no.
Justice League?
Oh, that's an hard one, that.
I'm going to go, because I've seen Pacific Rim, I'm going to stick with the Pacific Rim.
I'm more excited for that film. Although I do get this feeling they were just fluky with the first film. Can't help but feel like that, but we'll see.
I get that feeling as well.
I actually like the Justice League trailer, the one before, where it had that mysterious ending. No, the trailer before where
someone walks in on Alfred.
Alfred stood there.
Superman then.
Yeah.
It's Superman.
But we don't know. It's like,
we do know, that's why I'm annoyed. Of course it is.
But I thought that was a better trailer than the last one that got released, so I would say Pacific Rim out of those two.
Stick them trailers of Justice League all together, all the ones I've released, and you've seen the trailers are about 3-4 minutes long. The last one was about 4 minutes long. That one was about 3.5, something like that. Stick them all together. You can just see the full film. They give too much away, man. Ugh. Anyway, Pacific Rim, I'm looking forward to more. Anyway, that was the news. There hasn't been much else, to be honest. I just quickly want to go through the October releases. I'd like to know which ones you're excited for, if that's all right with you, John.
Yeah.
We're just going to be answering yes, no. Yeah.
No, we'll quickly do. Right. Well, we've got Blade Runner. Are either of you two interested?
Yes, I am.
Right up your street.
I know it would.
Don't watch it, John. You've got The Foreigner, which is Jackie Chan.
Yes, I've seen a trailer for that. Looks brilliant.
Not seen anything of that.
Yeah, the trailer really it got a lot of people online buzzing. So
I haven't seen Jackie Chan in years.
Yeah,
I tell you what, he's aged well, him.
We've
Cosmetics.
got
yeah,
Chinese, isn't he?
I don't know.
They never age.
I don't know.
They don't age at all until instantly, like, they're proper old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing in the middle. You got Marshall.
So you watch two of them films, isn't he, where there's just the old master teaching younger people.
Suburbicon, which is directed by who's the old sexy guy? George Clooney, directed by George Clooney.
The old sexy guy.
The old sexy guy.
Why didn't you just say the guy from the coffee advert?
Have you seen the trailers for the Suburbicon? I think we might have caught one. It's like set in like the 50s, 60s, or 70s.
Right.
Only the brave.
Oh, that was the end of that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same kind of different as me.
No,
What are these films? The Mountain Between Us. Now that is Idris Elba
Idris Elba, yeah.
and her.
Oh, what's her name?
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet.
Oh, well done, John.
Kate
Oh.
Winslet. Sorry.
That looks alright. The plane goes down in the mountains and they have to try and survive.
Okay.
So
Yeah, they're going to end up.
quite
doing
intrigued to
stuff.
watch that one. The Snowman, which is like some kind of horror thriller thing.
I'm quite looking forward to that. Yeah, I've seen a couple of trailers for that, and it's like, ooh, yeah.
That's by that's
What age group is it? Is it 15, 18,
Do you know what?
13,
I don't know,
16? Whatever ratings they have these days.
God, that picture is terrible.
it's because I'm zooming in on a
You can
small
use a high
image.
resolution.
Yeah. Fassbender, that's the fella. Jigsaw.
Yes!
I thought you'd get excited.
Yes.
No.
Shut up.
He's a massive fan.
I
of
know he is.
Jigsaw.
Oh.
I know he is.
You know, I actually
Bring
don't
him
mind them. They did
Bring
get
him
a
on.
bit ridiculous, and nothing beats the original.
Yeah, but it's,
Nothing beats
you know
me.
why they've done it again? Because they stopped making them the last few Halloweens, and they lost a load of money, didn't they? Because they always used to draw in the crowds.
Yeah, because everyone's got the
Jigsaw
Purge.
movie on.
Everyone's watching Purge, aren't they now?
Yeah.
They're not bringing one out.
Basically, it is kind of the same sort of.
Yeah, he's
Sing
still alive or
and,
something.
yeah,
Oh. How?
The same sort of storyline, but it's. For me, it's still entertaining.
Yeah.
Now, like a bit of go.
I don't know if it's given it long enough. So, like it was, they'd made a few too many, hadn't they? And then it was nice for them to finally stop, and it kind of ended, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought it did.
And now, so
That's why they stopped making them. But then the trailer just looked like more of the same. It's
it
just
does.
I found some more contraptions.
more
If
traps.
anything, a bit cheap.
Basically.
Yeah.
You've got quite a few horror films coming out in October, obviously, with Halloween. You've got Boo 2, which I'm not interested
shit.
in. Happy Death Day. I'm not a horror person at all. And then we've got the big disaster movie,
Yay!
Geostorm.
Yes.
Why are you excited?
Why? Oh, I love disaster films. I love these proper. Yeah, I know they're over the top, but yeah.
It looks awful, but I
Looks
will
good.
be going to see it because I'm a sucker for disaster films.
Yeah,
Gee,
exactly.
Storm, so they
I
couldn't have
am.
thought of anything like more original than
They
fucking
can control the
Geostorm.
weather and it all goes
That's
wrong.
the thing.
Oh, I think I've seen a little.
I love, you know,
Gerard
2012,
Butler, isn't it?
Day After Tomorrow.
Yep.
All the disaster films. Knowing,
2012's not great.
you know, I know.
Knowing's good.
But I'm always sucked into them films, and I always like
I'm
them.
not sold on this, are you, John?
No one was shocking at the
You're
end.
not coming with me to watch that, Dean.
Sounds shit.
It does. There's a lot of people online are like, we have to go and see a shit film at some point, Dean.
Just because you want to put two
Come on,
stars up on your
come
website
on.
because you're sick of 4 stars.
I know everything's 4 and 5s because we just go and see the films we love. That's not how a critic works. Come on. Bite the bullet.
No, it
Please
sounds
come
awful.
with me. Come with me. I've got
Si
no other
will go with you.
Do you want to
I'd
do
be at
it?
bloody work.
Aye.
No doubt
John.
it'll be Christmas. Bloody
When
train.
is it?
It's this month at some point. If I give you the notice and let you know when it is, we maybe do it.
Do it on a Wednesday night.
Instead of the gym.
Do it
Or
after.
straight after the gym. Would you do that?
So, I don't think that should be an issue.
And if needs be, we won't go to Cineworld where it's free for me. We'll go to
Go to the
the Darton
Odeon.
one.
Go to the
Odeon.
Odeon.
Cut
It's
the
only a
other-
£5 in the other one, and it's the
I'm not
biggest
paying
screen.
a £5,
I'll
eh?
give you the £2.
Oh my God, John.
To make it the
tight
same
ass.
price as the Odeon. Come on.
John,
We're not going in the Odeon, man. It's like, it's still doing bloody film reel in there. It's
You're picturing that fiver joining the Disney World pile of money, aren't you, John? That Disney World pile of money at the top.
I'll
My
tell you
TV
what,
at home's bigger than Odeon's.
if I don't get my £70 for Disneyland, okay, it's your fucking fault. Because I've got the pissing view.
Language, John.
Come on, right? So we're doing that. I'm really excited. You do after credits with me. Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god. Hang on. All on a Wednesday night?
Yeah. Oh, they only take 10
Oh,
minutes.
God, he
Really short
whinges
little
when he has to
reviews.
go to bed late.
Oh, I'm excited.
God, Dean.
It's Dean's feature after credits as well. Look, you're giving it away.
Yeah, but I think
Dean, step up, son.
I've done quite a lot of after credits. I think you should do one.
It's your
John.
thing.
It's your
Dean.
thing.
It's your thing, Dean.
Me and Simon have got a gaming one coming in as well.
Woohoo!
Which we will get round to doing.
And John's got what coming in? Oh, it sounds like nothing.
Do you want to think of a feature? Why is it all on me?
Well, John did
Come
have a
on, let's
feature.
work as a team.
I did have a feature, yes.
It went.
All
I
in.
got took off.
Yeah, you sacked him.
What was that feature that I had that you took off us? Come on.
Well, you can bring it back if you want to edit it all and upload it all. Popcorn Wars.
There we go.
I've not had anyone crying about it not being on.
Well,
I cried. I had a whole night where I
We've
couldn't
got a
go to
new
sleep.
feature in place of it. Anyway,
Dean now sings to himself in the mirror. With his own theme tunes of waking up.
Theme tunes have been relegated to the shower.
No! We'll bring it back for the new game that is next week. It'll be published next week.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. Should we get on to the discussion topic?
go on then.
We've already started it.
Go on
Yeah.
then.
What me and Dean were talking about on the way back from Blade Runner is the difference between a critic's point of view on a film and Joe Public.
Well,
Okay?
Critic looks obviously into it a little more in depth.
But also at the same time, film is such a personal thing. And it comes back to that whole Transformers thing. I know it's pretty terrible, it's cheese fest and stuff, but you love that film. And nothing will change that. But that's what makes reviewing films so difficult.
It does.
Do you know what I mean? What
does.
I would say I'm more of a Joe blogs kind of guy.
And I think we were saying that. I think we're in quite a good thing here because I would say yourself, John, and Simon, I think you're much more of a kind of casual film goer.
Well, you're basically saying we are shit.
No, you just like anything. But no, I think it became more apparent after watching Blade Runner. I was like, I know John wouldn't like that. But personally, I know what score I give it. And if you read that score and you got the cinema, I know you wouldn't agree with me. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Everyone has their own thing.
Because the first one was terrible.
And if you think that, then the chances are you won't like this new one. And why did you think it was terrible? Because it was quite slow paced.
You actually had it spot on. It was slow paced.
We've got to be careful we don't go into the review for Blade Runner here.
It was slow paced and it was shit.
Right. Whereas
End of.
Dean, you watched it last week, didn't you?
I watched it last week, yeah.
And you thoroughly enjoyed it. You
I-
mentioned in the after credits that you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going through it all again and stuff. What they did back then was an amazing thing. Just it draws you in, and I think that's why After Credits was a little bit more down key because it sort of pulls you in. You sat there for 2 hours 20 odd minutes. However long it was.
45, 40,
Was it
innit?
40?
Something, yeah,
12,
nearly
40?
3 hours long.
And you're a little bit stunned when you come out. It just
Yeah.
totally stuns you. Yeah, but. We were talking about the difference between critics because it's got massive critical acclaim.
And I
the
understand
original
that.
film was a huge cult sci-fi film. It had different cuts, different endings.
It's crazy, the contract, like, my followers on Twitter, you may be one, whoever listening, I've had some people come back and say, incredible, best film I've seen in years, and I've had other people come back and say, that was like a proper slog. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them films, it's just... What film was last week, in the last podcast, which was Marmite film? Can you remember?
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
'Cause
look
you
again. You loved it, 5 stars. You hated it.
0 stars.
It was terrible.
It was
a predictable mess.
Do you know what though? You're not the only ones because at work, people I was talking to at work, there was some of the same. There was some horror. There's a girl that loves horror films. She loved it, absolutely loved it. She thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. Right, and then there was another girl who also likes horror films. Said it was the worst thing she's ever watched,
Wow.
and it was insulting to.
There you
the
go.
original.
It's exactly like
And that's what Blade Runner will do.
Yeah.
But I think Blade Runner will go more on the side of the general public are going to think it's slow, it's boring, and it's not going to be.
But the difficult thing with general public is we are as well. I mean, I know we critique the film and stuff, but we're not Film or Empire magazine. Do you know what I mean? Like we are. I would still say we're Joe Public. I maybe do look into films a little bit more critically. You have to.
But do you also think age comes into this as well? Because
age will have a factor.
Because
I was going to.
The younger generation, I feel like me included, would prefer the newer.
You?
Yeah, I'm young. I would say prefer the newer style type of filming, where some of the old people that like I sort of talk with even at work, they prefer the original sort of style, and because they don't want the newer ones to tarnish of what they remember from what they've seen in the past.
A few people at work I talk to who are much younger, and they prefer these CGI heavy kind of films compared to what I would prefer is more practical.
There's more original thought that goes into originals. Back then, I think they had a more creative mind because they don't actually have what we've got today. They had to really think about, how we're going to put this on screen more. They had to really dig deep, and you can actually see that with your Jaws, with your It, with the originals back then, and with remakes.
Fly, I think.
With remakes, I think they've got it a bit too easy. Oh, would you CGI that bit? Would you CGI that bit?
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
I just think they've got it too easy, and sometimes it comes across. I'm sorry to say, Stephen King shit, in this remake.
Wow,
it was just a predictable mess. It was horrible.
See, you can't. Right, I appreciate that. That's what you feel about the film, but if I put up a review saying it's utter
turd
rubbish, yeah, like so many people would disagree because it is like the overall. We did a poll, didn't I? And the majority of people absolutely loved it.
See, I think I'm going a bit too far.
So
by
this
saying
is why
it was a
reviews...
predictable mess. it was predictable for me because I knew what was coming, but it wasn't. It was a watch wasn't exactly mind blown or. I mean, give me Jaws, give me Jigsaw any day. You know what I mean? But this remake of it was just not what I wanted.
Well, can you see that?
Not what I wanted.
Can you see the difficulties you can have with reviewing something? Like it's such a personal thing. It's like reviewing a song. If I review a rock song,
Justin Bieber.
If I review Justin Bieber and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, you'd be like, oh my god, it's awful. It's personal preference. So what a review should be, I really made me think about it when I went to write this review for Blade.
So now can you understand why I don't like Love Actually? Because personally, I don't like love films.
Yeah, I'm starting to see.
See, in all honesty, since actually doing Popcornography podcasts now,
you said this as well.
I do look into movies in a different view and a different angle now.
Yeah. Yes.
That kind of
especially since we started doing this crew review thing.
And I was going to touch on that. Exactly. I feel exactly the same way as you are, and I'll bring that in when we come to do a crew review with Jaws.
Yeah. I just thought it was an interesting topic, and it
is because we recognised straight away Blade Runner 2 was going to be one of those films that's gonna separate people in their opinion.
Well, should we jump straight into that review then? Should we do it? Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve, I believe is that how it's said? The director is the one who did Arrival last year.
Oh. I like it.
He did Sicario.
It's quite intense.
It wasn't terrible. That's what I love, though, how contrasting opinions we have.
It's clever techniques on Arrival as well. Did
you notice the pace in Arrival was slowish? It really took its time to develop characters and things like that.
Didn't lose interest.
He didn't lose interest.
I'll tell you why he didn't lose interest, because Amy Adams was in it.
Now, the reason why this film has had so many contrasting, the reviews tend to be incredible, but that's coming from the critics, from a critical point, from a proper film buff. This film could be seen as perfection, and I would completely understand if someone said that film is amazing, best film in years. I'd understand completely where they're coming from. He builds a world that is a world that just sucks you in, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You feel like you're in that world. I mean, you've been living in it for 3 hours by the time it finishes, haven't you? So you do feel. But he does masterfully create this universe.
Well, he spends minutes, doesn't he? He spends minutes on every scene that you go to.
Every shot.
With every sound, every emotion. He spends a long time on every single part of the film as you go through it.
Drags out sounds quite negative. Like every shot, every scene is quite long, isn't it? It doesn't rush anywhere, and that's why I don't think you would like it.
Si, I'm not sure if you'd like it or not. I'm not 100% sure because you got your sci-fi side.
I think he would.
But I said to you straight away in the after credits, I said that I would never have thought to go back and watch the original Blade Runner. I watched it once. And then I never thought, like other movies, other big hits like Predator, like Terminator, I've always gone back and watched them multiple times, but this has never drawn me to go and watch it again.
Right.
And when you sit there and you watch it, the two films are identical in terms of pace.
Which is incredible, isn't it?
It stays so genuine to the original idea of what Blade Runner is.
To create that world which is very similar, you feel like you're still in that same world, don't you?
Yeah.
But bring it up to date with today's graphic, CGI magic and things, and without it being jarring and stuff. I think they did an amazing job there.
And it was the same pace, and it was the same kind of themes. It had the same kind of mystery, but not going too deep as the original. But I'd still stick with what I said with the after credits. So it's one of these films that you would watch once, you'd enjoy it, you'd be absorbed in it, but you're unlikely to go back and watch it again and again.
One thing I can say since the after credits, this film has stuck with me. I'm still thinking about it. For some reason, it's proper in my head, thinking of certain scenes. What I didn't appreciate, and I didn't mention in the after credits, is that scene. There is not many action scenes in this film, really, is there? Not an awful lot.
No.
And what there is, they're not particularly long either.
Same as the original.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
There's no big shootout that goes on for 15, 20 minutes.
And the whole movie concentrates just on a very few small core characters and spends a lot of time on those characters.
Yeah.
And the whole world feels a bit empty actually as well. There doesn't seem to be lots of cars, lots of city action. But once you just focus on certain key elements, like you said, from a filmmaker's perspective, the way the fixed camera's used and it pans out and you see it moving around and the sounds, it just draws you into a world.
Another thing that was a massive breath of fresh air is how this film isn't trying to create a new universe. It's not trying to set up for another sequel. Yeah, it's its own little contained story, isn't it?
Yeah, and it stays true to itself, true to the original, true to the idea of Blade Runner and how it should be shot, how it should be filmed. And I think if they ever do make another one, should this one make enough money, but I'm just not sure if the general public are going to push it up.
It's done all right, but they're worried that it's not going to make its money back.
That's what I'm worried about, because we said straight away in after credits, I feel the general public are going to say it, well, don't go and see that, it's too slow, it's too boring.
See, we're recording this on the Sunday night of the first weekend it's out, and the estimates are quite low, so they are a little concerned, but...
Yeah.
It'd be a shame because,
it's a shame because I think they're very brave to make a movie like that in modern times.
They are, and I definitely. And I do love the fact it's just not trying to sell anything else. It's its own little contained story, and it's very well done. And if we did half star, I would jump to 4.5. I did the review at 4. We don't do half. I've said I'm not going to do half stars.
No. I was torn between giving it 5 as a critic and 2 to 3 as a normal general public, and then I gave it a 4 in the end. I only knocked a point off it because I don't think I would go back and watch it multiple times. It's one of them movies I enjoy watching once and being engrossed in it. Unless you're going to analyse the scenes as a film critic and go back and look how beautifully it was shot and everything else, I wouldn't really be going back to watch it again.
That cinematography in that film is genuinely the most beautiful film I've ever seen in my life.
See, when you said that, it got my hopes up even more about the film. Yeah, because it's something that I can.
Because you got a 62-inch TV.
4K, yeah.
4K.
I want to absorb it.
Look incredible.
And I'm going to wait.
Imagine this in IMAX. We didn't see it in IMAX, and
I'm going to wait until the 4K release, and I'm not going to bother with Amy because I know Amy's.
You're not going to bother with Amy.
Well, we normally watch films together.
She won't. She probably.
And I know she wouldn't like this, and I know she wouldn't because if it's sticking to its cult roots, then I think I would enjoy this.
You see, part of me thinks like, especially somewhere in the middle, some of the scenes could have been tightened up a bit. It maybe teased the tension a little bit too long. Like, but then if they hadn't, maybe it wouldn't have had the same impact on me. It's really hard to say.
It's a unique film. It should be celebrated in a way that it's. I don't feel like the men in suits came along and said, right, I want more action in it. Right, I want you to cut this out. Right, I want you to get down to this length. Yeah. It just seems like he had complete freedom to do what he wanted in that movie, to stay original to the
Hans Zimmer as well, the soundtrack's stunning. There's not really any music until there's one scene near the end where there's actual genuine music.
Hans Zimmer seems to be the go-to guy at the moment, doesn't he?
100%.
He's brilliant.
I mean, from a production point of view, this film is perfect. The sound quality, the design, the sets, the cinematography, it's all just perfect. If I could put a film forward to say this is how far we've come with cinema, this is the top end of film at the moment. Worth going. Take a cushion with you though, because maybe a bit harsher in the after. This is why I like it, because the after credits I was maybe a bit. I have actually grown to like it more since watching it. The more I've thought about it.
The only reason I say watch the first one before the second one is that it puts a lot of context on when Harrison Ford turns up. If you'd watched the original one, there's lots of little scenes in this one that completely tie into the first film.
You don't need to have seen the first one, but it does add some
value,
because there was a few bits where you hear sound bites from the first one and things like that, and obviously that all just...
I have seen the original, but I was very little when I did see it, and I probably won't remember many. I do remember some bits in the city, but that's about it.
And obviously the reappearance of Harrison Ford would have had more of an impact on me if I'd seen him go through all that from the first one.
What you'd say? I'm very interested to see what you think of it, because you like your sci-fi.
I would as well. Yeah, it's a really strange movie. It's quite unique.
Yeah,
it does split a lot of people on opinion. Yeah, it's just.
You're sticking to 4.
I'm sticking to 4. It's and the long lingering scenes is what draws you in. It's completely unlike most modern movie making with fast-paced action, and fast-paced storylines.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still 4. If I could, 4.5.
Well, watch the original.
You've piqued my interest, so I'll definitely give it a go.
Right.
In 4K.
That's our main review done. Crew review.
Crack on.
I don't know. I was getting excited.
Sorry, I've put it away now.
So, oh god. This week we had to choose a Steven Spielberg film.
Tuna.
We all then choose our films that we'd like to watch and review. We put it up for vote on the Twitteroo, and whichever wins we review. Bit simple as that, really, isn't it? We had the choices of, mine was Jaws, Simon's was...
Oh my goodness.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Do you now realise, looking back, that was stupid? That was a stupid decision.
Yeah, but I couldn't...
Although 15% of our Twitter followers voted for that. Are you mad?
You're calling them stupid?
It's one of the worst films Spielberg's ever directed.
Oh.
They were just trying to troll us with that choice. That 15% of people were trying to troll us.
I think they were, weren't they? They wanted us to rip it.
Top Gun.
To be honest, it would be quite funny. 15 of them, 15% of that's probably your vote.
Fuck off.
You probably created 100 odd accounts. John's choice was
Hook.
And
good film. Hook.
It is a good film. And Dean, your choice was
Raiders of the Lost Ark, because I couldn't think of any. Because one of the choices I was looking through, I was thinking, I have to choose it.
The results are as follows: Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 15%.
The results are shocking
Hook.
and horrible.
Hook, 19%.
19% for Hook.
Raiders of the Lost Ark at 19%, and obviously the winner then is my choice, Jaws. That knocks me to 2 wins.
You didn't have a word with your followers, mate, because Hook is an absolute sensation.
Now in line with Dean. It's no one's denying it's not a good film. They had a choice of that, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jaws. I mean, all 3 of them are incredible movies. Yeah.
But 19% for Hook.
Well, more people like Jaws and Raiders. I understand.
Over Hook.
The fact that it beat Crystal Skull by only 4% is a bit. But anyway, it was decided we were watching Jaws. We've all sat and we've watched it. 1975. This is the oldest film we've crew reviewed so far, and it hasn't got Tom Cruise in it.
Hey!
Basically, it follows a little island, isn't it? It's a little island resort. It's summer,
Amity Island?
and it's getting
A visitor.
it has a visitor.
Yeah, an unwanted visitor.
Yeah, which they will need to get rid of as quickly as they can because it's going to damage their summer trade.
It does, so...
It
all about
absolutely
money.
does, doesn't it?
That's all it was about, money. The good about the film, I think it did quite well to build up the whole idea of a resort, and you got to know all the people at the start, and it felt like it's a normal holiday resort. And I quite like how they just had little hints. You saw a little fin coming up. You saw just the viewpoint of people's legs under the water.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the music just slowly hinting its way, building it up
Yeah.
bit by bit. A bit like the old style horror movies, they only show you a little bit of the monster
Yeah.
and reveal
And
a
it leaves
little
it
bit at
more
a
to your
time.
imagination, which is way more powerful than seeing it on screen.
Yeah.
CGI is now overused. Tease it more. Don't show everything. Leave us to imagine it. And it works. It really does.
See, I was only expecting like a stickleback, initially when before like the Great White come to play.
Yeah.
I was well impressed.
Now, this is quite an old film, and we know myself and Dean versus John and Si, we've got quite different things we look for in movies. Would you agree on that? I'm interested, to know if you enjoyed it or not, John.
I did.
You did?
In 1975, Stevie
That's
S.
when you enjoyed it.
Stevie S done actually quite a good little job with what he had. In relation to, like you say, CGI with what you've got now, to what you had back then, he didn't do too bad, did he?
It's incredible. Can you imagine working in the sea as well,
With-
big water tank, to get mechanics and stuff like that to work, like robotics.
I mean, there was certain aspects where you had to take real life film
Yeah, I noticed that.
in order to bring some.
There was only
of that-
one scene, wasn't it, where he did that? I think.
Yeah, it was
In
the
the
cage.
cage,
Yeah, in
yeah.
the cage. Yeah. I think was there not another one as well?
National Geographic
Maybe touches of.
footage was used in it.
Was that one as well? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought
Of
there
the
was a
shark
third one.
pictures of the real ones.
Yeah. I mean, you had some real life footage of that, but in order to get the close-ups of a shark, obviously that's going to be quite hard to do it in real life. So to bring his mechanisms on board and how he done it, his all camera piece, his cinematography and what have you, and obviously the cast bringing it all to life, he done a real good job, a real good job.
He did.
I enjoyed the characters, especially of the Chief of Police, Chief Brody. His wife played a good part. His two sons I thought were great. Richard Dreyfuss, I think, is an outstanding actor to begin with. I thought he was brilliant all the way
He
through.
was
and then
good, wasn't he?
Quint, I thought he was just, he was just a talent, just a nice little talent to complete it all. And yes, I did enjoy from start to finish.
I mean, even now, it still works as a film. And can you imagine at the time, you'd have been blown away. I actually talked to my mother about it, and it was one of the first films she went to cinema to see. She was terrified.
I don't think we'd have the same effect if Steven Spielberg didn't film it.
No.
Because his style of filming brings a film to life.
Building tension.
And I want just to touch on the character side. Bit cheesy for me. Some of the the lines that were coming out with, it was spoofy a little bit to me. Some of the stuff, it was sort of like, oh hey Chief, how you doing? It was just conversations in the phone when he was on the phone to New York. There was a lot of things going on in the background. It just seemed very cheesy. But then when there was like action scenes, like you say about the boat, it was like really, really good, and I really loved the way he sort of filmed.
The only cheesy bit I felt was right at the start with the young kids on the beach. And the whole running, going, I'm going in the sea, and that all the very beginning scene. But then as soon as she got her boobs out, I let them off. I was like, you can be as cheesy as you want.
I think that was a part of the product of the times, wasn't it? That kind of
yeah,
it feels a
I
bit
know.
cheesy, that kind of that line and filming now. But
as
it's
I
just a
watched
product of the
it,
time,
as I watched it, I felt like there was sometimes there was a stark contrast between the acting and the filming at some of the scenes, and I felt like you could tell sometimes. To be honest, it was still a good film to watch, and I did really enjoy it.
But it's brutal that first scene though.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see a little kid on his lap.
I know, a little kid gets ripped to shreds. The
to
dog,
shreds.
you don't see the dog go, but the dog gets eaten as well.
Yeah.
I was more bothered about that than the kid.
I forgot about that scene with the kid on the yellow lilo. And it just all of a sudden just blood everywhere. I thought, whoa!
I tell you what was really good, and I really enjoyed. It sounds bad, but how real did that leg look when it hit the seabed?
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I was like, that, even on a big screen, looks bloody good.
Yeah, like I say, for what he had to play with, he pulled it off pretty nicely. But that Steven Spielberg all over that. I mean, from his creative mind and his mindset on what characters that he wants, he just gels it all together, and you've got the perfect picture.
One scene that stuck by me, you know, when he realizes it's a shark and the camera zooms in on him, but the background kind of goes out of focus. You know, it's like an iconic scene now, isn't it? That kind of going.
Yeah.
He's realised, oh god, that I don't know if that had been done before, had it? But I reckon that's one hell of a shot. That I mean, it's only 2 seconds or something, but it.
I think that film as well set the scene for decades to come. Even now, of people's fear of sharks. I mean, it was a real life monster in that movie, and it really brought.
I think it does stick with you. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the sea anyway. Like I don't like the sea.
Absolutely.
The thought of not knowing not knowing what's under you, it really plays on that, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does,
and that's why I love you. Like you don't see it much. It just plays that, and it lets you just.
I like that bit where he first sees when Chief Brody first sees the size of Bruce the shark. And he sees him, and he steps back into the cabin.
Oh yeah,
and you can see the fear in his face, and I thought, do you know what? That was brilliantly done. That was good. I loved that bit.
Haven't you got a fact for his fact, Simon?
I have got a
because
fact.
The fact is what I want to touch on next.
Basically, Robert Shaw could not stand Richard Dreyfuss, and the two argued all the time, which resulted in some good tension between Hopper, and Quint.
You genuinely feel that in the closing stages of that film when they're on that boat. You genuinely sense that tension. I really just the looks that they're giving each other and stuff like that. That you could tell there wasn't much love between the two, including the other fella as well. Like you could just tell that it was a weird concoction of characters on that boat, and they didn't really care that much for each other. They were just there because of what the events of the film.
There's something there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Whether it's clever acting or it's either real life. I'm gonna.
Well, that's it. If you can
hands around your neck.
If you can portray real life actions and feelings, you're onto a winner. But the fact that he actually hated him, it portrayed a decent acting scene.
It was more depth, wasn't it? It was more like an in-depth.
Yeah. It was good. I liked it.
It came across.
Now, we're gushing about this film quite a bit. Is there any bits you didn't like that much?
The acting.
The acting was impressive.
Like I said, I don't know what it is. It's just some of the bit lines were cheesy. The actors themselves, they were all right for 1975. But yeah,
I think they do a fantastic job, especially the main three. I think all of them are really good.
I disagree with you completely.
The main three, yeah.
Disagree with Simon?
Yeah. I disagree with you completely. Well, I don't know what cheesiness and what...
Just the lines, some of the lines
maybe a few little lines might have been a touch cheesy, but the acting was superb.
Yeah, not all the way through, I'm just saying a few of them.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't downgrade it that much for that because I thought I know where Si's coming from. It's just because I just put it aside to just being a product of the time. So.
Yeah, I would probably say that.
But yeah, I can see where Si's coming from. But overall, I mean, the main cast, the acting's brilliant, isn't it, all the way through?
I was writing down little things like anything that kind of.
Best actor, I think, was the shark as well. Amazing.
Yeah.
So realistic.
Yeah.
One scene that I thought was really clever was the bit where them two are on the pier and they fall into the sea, and you see the bit of the pier go out, and then you see the pier coming back in again.
Yeah.
So you don't see any shark, you just see this bit of wood, And it makes it so tense. And all he's doing is getting chased by a bit of wood. I mean, obviously, again, it's your imagination. You think there's a shark under there. The shark's coming. You don't know exactly how close it is to him. And you just see him climb out of the water. And he makes so much tension with very little.
Yeah.
But and then going on to the tension as well. It's the theme tune, isn't it? It's the music.
Oh, it's so simple. He wasn't keen, was he? At first?
I thought it was a joke.
He was. He honestly thought he honestly thought it was a joke to the film, and it wasn't until he was getting interviewed and he turned around and said it actually made the film.
Taught myself how to play that on a keyboard just for this podcast, but as we haven't got my keyboard at the moment.
Oh, never mind. I like those.
You can always put it. He might have thought it was cheesy when I didn't like it when he first put it in, but it made it cult. People were doing that all the time, doing the shark on top of the head, going in the bath.
Yeah.
And then there was water.
Exactly. Like how iconic is it all now?
It's iconic.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I think that was a pretty positive review. If you were going to 5-star it, then do you want to go first, Si? What would you give it out of 5?
4.
4.
Giving it a 4-star. Just it is a fantastic film, brilliant, and I still stand by some of my cheesy lines.
I mean, even looking at it now, do you know what I mean though? Like back then,
obviously.
What you had to work with, and now how it possibly would have to work with now. Yeah, 5.
I think I'm going to have to bring in halves because I think I'm going towards 5 now. And if you both say 4, it's 4.5, isn't it? That's how it'll work out.
Oh, dear.
So, good film.
Yeah, absolutely. Great film.
Great. It's a classic for a reason.
It is.
Yeah. So, we are now going to choose next week's, which is going to be based on British films. If you're watching this on YouTube, to hear the rest of this, you'll have to listen to our podcast. So we'll catch you later if you listen to them. I only put the review up on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So, British films. Have you all got one chosen?
Yeah, I'm going first.
Yeah, I've got mine.
Uh-oh.
Are you two against each other?
That usually means have we got a similar choice from two people?
I know, because...
Who's going to
No, because someone nicked mine, so I've had to go with another choice.
Oh, you've actually discussed it.
So...
I said you can have it.
No, forget it. No, I've shut you off.
Okay.
Right, so, mine. Mine is an absolute beauty. And if it wins, I'll be over the moon to watch it again. And it's Trainspotting.
Ooh.
You knob.
Drugs.
What do you mean, you knob?
What do you mean you knob? Is that yours, like?
No, it's going to win.
Is it though?
Trainspotting is an absolute, all outstanding classic of a film. And if it doesn't win, then there's
You
something.
quit. You're going to quit? You're going to quit?
There's something wrong with the universe. That's all I can think.
Well, I mean, for British films, we should have just quickly go through. There is an awful lot to choose from. Some brilliant films.
Clockwork Orange,
Clockwork
apparently.
Orange. Yeah, you've got the Bond films. They're all technically British films. Full Monty's a big one. Like all the Monty Python stuff.
Got the more modern ones like Shaun of the Dead.
With Neil and I, what a classic. Slumdog Millionaire.
You could go on forever.
You really could.
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah. I mean, we wrote a big list at work, and I forgot to bring it, and I'm gutted. Simon's favourite film, Love Actually, is on there.
Get gone.
You're not going to choose that, are you?
No, I'm not.
I'm tempted.
Anyway,
Billy Elliot. Billy Elliot's obviously Italian Job. Yeah, I mean.
Well, let me give you an overview, just in case people don't remember. Which how kind it's Trainspotting. Heroin addict Mark Renton, Ewan McGregor, stumbled through bad ideas and sobriety.
Maybe you shouldn't try this, John.
With his anyway, watch it.
It's a film about drugs.
IMDb 8.2. That is quite a high rating.
Oh, man,
Trainspotting is an incredible movie.
It is. Ewan McGregor, Johnny Lee Miller, Robert Carlyle.
It's about the characters.
Robert Carlyle is absolutely fantastic.
Sequel, not so much. It's all right.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty average. It's out.
I know. That should. Ewan Bremner, fantastic in it. So yes. Right,
that is your choice. Let me just write that down. Trainspotting. Who wants to go next?
Me.
He's dying, isn't he, Simon?
Go on then, Dean.
Because he pinched man.
I was looking through a few. You've mentioned a few there. I was thinking, one you didn't mention, they did a Dad's Army film, didn't they? Did you watch that?
We did.
It wasn't as good, was it?
Terrible.
As the original.
Yeah,
Dad's
it wasn't.
Army.
What about Mr.
And I
Bean?
love Dad's Army. Mr. Bean.
Mr.
Bean.
Mr.
Fantastic.
Bean goes on holiday.
Best of the best. No, but I was I was thinking Trainspotting, John, as well, but I was also thinking other things like Life of Brian, like you said. Brilliant film as well. I love the Monty Python cast.
Why did you screw your face up with that, John? Do you not like them?
And but I was going to go with a more modern one because I thought it was quite a unique take, so I really enjoyed Shaun of the Dead, so I'm going to go with that.
Oh!
I would love to watch that again. I've only
Well
watched
done.
it once.
Guess whose choice? Guess what I was going to pick?
What?
Shaun of the Dead.
Loser! See what
No, you know
happens?
what?
See what I have to put up with?
Now you know how I feel. Now you know how I feel. When Dickhead decided to choose mine.
Yeah,
Well, I
Stabbed
choose
in the
Shaun of Dead.
heart.
I did
Look
offer you it back, John,
No.
but you chucked it back in my face.
No.
Oh, you had it already? Oh, you had it already.
Mate.
Oh no.
Shall I go with Life of Brian then?
No, you've made your
it's
choice.
fine. You went
You've
before
done your
I
choice.
did. You
Why have you gone for your
bastard.
choice, Dean?
Because when I watched it, it was just such a fun movie and take on the whole premise. I mean, I just love how it starts.
Yeah.
It just starts off just some normal British people getting together, and then it just all goes to shit.
Do you know,
doesn't it?
I love Simon Pegg and his friend in that.
He does.
They
Simon.
make it
It's
so
so British.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And the tune, that little tune that they've got going on, and they make it work. They do.
Yeah,
They
they've
make it
got a
work.
fantastic acting and partnership.
So British.
It is
Yeah.
so British and it's so funny. I love the humour. I love everything about it. It's just so much
Who's
fun.
the old fella, the dad, who plays the dad? He's very British as well. He's in Love Actually, you know what I'm on about, don't you? I love it.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. I think he's absolutely
Yeah.
class.
Well, I mean, they were so good. They even did Hot Fuzz, and even that worked. What's he called? Frost. Somebody Frost. What's he called? I forget his first name now. What's he called?
Look at me, John.
Oh, I forget what he's
I
called.
keep wanting to
now.
say Nick Frost, but it's not, is
Nick
it?
Frost, yeah.
Is it Nick?
Yeah, I think
I thought it was a newsreader.
Nick Frost. Let's have a look. Yep, it's him.
Oh, it is. Oh, right, there we go.
Yeah, Nick Frost. Yeah, yeah. Them two together work.
Cramp.
Absolutely work 155,000% on telly.
Take car, go to mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this
It's
to
so
blow.
British.
Yes.
It's so British. All the themes throughout the movie,
Yeah.
like I said, the pint, the pub, the
Music track, Queen.
It's
Don't
all
Stop
British.
Me Now.
Yeah.
And they're going with the tune with it. It's brilliant.
I'd be very, very happy if this one wins because I'd love
Definitely.
to watch this
Yeah.
again.
It's like holding a big flag up. If the British did humour, this is how we do it. A horror humour. Sure,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
it. Shaun of the
Edgar
Dead.
Wright, director as well. Baby Driver, my favourite film of this year. He's
Very
a
good show.
fantastic director. I mean, it's the Cornetto trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, and then it was World's End, which was a slightly weaker
Yeah,
film.
sort of-
That one.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz was fantastic. Like that was a good film.
Okay. So, Snatch, 2000. Year 2000. Guy Ritchie film. It's the classic gangster comedy film. You've got a dirty Russian. You've got Jewish jewelers. You got a dodgy boxing promoter that wants to set up fights with Brad Pitt as the gypsy sort of king of fighters. It's a brilliant fighting film with comedy gangster scenarios and a dog that squeaks. Anybody want a dog?
I tell you what, it's an
what?
absolutely massive, brilliant shout. Really is.
Brilliant film, but Snatch really sticks with me
Got a lot. It seemed to get a lot of good reviews when it came out at the time. A lot
Yeah.
of people went out to see it. Yeah, some really good performances in it.
I tell you what, like 3 real good shout outs at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's for British films, we can pull them off.
Yeah.
So Dean chose the one I was gonna
Pick up that
pick. So this is my second choice, and it's a film that came out in 2002, directed by Danny Boyle. It features something Shaun of the Dead features as well. 28 Days Later.
28 days later.
Wow. Do you know that film when it opens up and he's in the hospital on his own? He has no idea. We have no idea what's going on.
That's what you're just as lost as him. He's so confused.
Yeah,
and he comes out of the hospital and London is just empty.
Is that another Robert
That's a
Carlyle
great
one?
start.
That's Robert Carlyle as well.
Yes,
isn't it?
he's in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. Aye. And there's a bit where if the car alarm goes off, I shat myself. I genuinely did. And it's a fantastic.
I can't remember it. I remember you got 28 days and then 28 days later, haven't you?
No, 28 days later and then 28 weeks later. We're all waiting for 28 months later, but it doesn't look like it's going.
No, it's going to come out.
Oh, I thought 28 days later was the sequel.
No, 28 weeks. And it wasn't that more American than British, even though...
It was the Americans coming over to help us repopulate, wasn't it?
So terrible.
28 days.
So this will be quite fresh for John then, if it wins.
I tell you what I loved about 28 Days Later as well. That scene in the house where they think they've got to safe haven and the army are there. Yeah. That music piece.
It just switches and then the bad guys aren't no longer the zombies. It's the other humans. It's just brilliant. So
that music score.
You know what? I'm not sure. If I had to put money on it, I would say Shaun of the Dead will win this.
Oh, I don't know.
But it'll be interesting.
I generally do not know.
You've got 4 real good shouts, I'm sorry, because I do vaguely remember 28 days later. But, hang on a minute, but Born, Slippy, Train Spotting, that's all you've got to know.
So, there are our 4 choices. Join us next podcast. Find out who wins. You can vote on our Twitter account, which is usually early. Well, you know what? It comes up at any point, so just keep a good close eye on Popcorn_media.
To look at these votes as well as that, people just look at the titles quickly and react, don't they, when they click on it? They don't perhaps put a lot of thought into
what they want to hear the review.
Yeah,
maybe
it's just because most votes you see online, you just think, oh yeah, right, that one.
The only one, I mean, Snatch is one of my all-time favourite films, but I watched it quite recently.
So, have you? I haven't seen it for a few years now.
But
I haven't seen it since the cinema.
No way.
When it was originally out.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, mate, that deserves a watch soon.
I've seen it quite a few times since then.
Right, well, that is the podcast for this fortnight.
Wow.
Thank you very much for joining me, Dean.
Thank me very much for joining me too.
I'll also thank you, Dean, for joining me, Simon.
Be sure to check in next week for a new little show we've got, which is, and I did say I'd let you know, the pub movie quiz. Ooh. We did one a while back, a very long time ago, and I actually had a few people message me saying I'd really like to hear that again. Like, that was a genuine feature because they could play along.
I can't answer any of them ever.
Thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.